If you have one skill, you have to be just the top tier person of that to, make it in the industry. But if you have two, you can be pretty good at both of those skills. If you have three, you can be, good at each of those skills. And if you have four, you can actually be kind of average at each of those skills. But you become the superhero for a specific group of people because you're the one person with that combination. So whether you're going to use that as a business, you're going to use it as a mom, you're going to use it as a volunteer in your community, looking at what you offer and bringing them together makes you the MVP of what you are doing for a group of people. And that is why being a unique snowflake is so incredible. Welcome back to The Great Conversation. In this episode, we're talking about capitalizing on the skills that you already possess, the experiences that you already have. Rather than looking outward and saying, man, if I only looked like that person, if I only could play the piano like that girl, if I only had the business know-how and tact of that guy, I could make it and I would be happy with my life. So today, we're unpacking what it really means to look inside of yourself to find the skills that you have and unpack them to build a life that you love to wake up to.
Absolutely. Yeah. We talk a lot about just the society that we live in today. And it seems like, oh, she's the prettiest.
Yeah.
She's the smartest.
Yeah.
She is the healthiest, the fittest. The EST mindset of, well, I couldn't do that because
I'm not the ist. I'm not the expert. I'm not like the pinnacle person who's like winning at the top level of that one singular thing.
Yeah. And so before we even get to the goal of maybe owning your own business or influencing in a certain way, we really have to find within ourselves as an individual that we make fun of it, but that we are a snowflake. There is something about each person that's unique. In the billions of people on planet Earth, you do have something unique to offer. And so let's find what that unique thing is to offer.
Yeah.
Let's start sharing it with just the people around us maybe. And then how do you take it further and really make money, make it a business?
Yeah.
So
if you want to.
If you want to.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. And so just me as a mom, my biggest goal is to be the best mom that I can be for my 4 children. And there are things that make me a really good mom.
Yes.
There are things that make you maybe a really great mom if you are a mom. And as much as it is overwhelming to look at Instagram or to look at the outside world and say, or just people that are in our community, friends, man, she just really seems like she has it put together all the time. They all dress great. They're all just so well behaved, etc. She might seem like the best, but what do I have to offer? And looking back maybe at my past experience as an ER nurse, I've really realized how that helped me so much to be a mom, to know how to do so many things at one time and not lose my cool.
Yeah.
And so that's something that makes me as a mom unique.
Yes.
And so other moms have the ability to look at their lives and say, this makes me unique as a mom.
Yeah. Yeah, let's say you're a college student, and I'm going to take an example of somebody we know. She is a skincare expert.
Yeah, just for herself.
To the word, just to herself. But she struggles with trying to find something she wants to do with her life, so to speak. But she has a very pretty girl. She is a skincare expert, and she has a very good charisma, great personality. But she cannot just see that those 3 things together could be a business. And so she's kind of struggling to find a place to work, to find something she's satisfied with, when really all she would have to do is look inward and say, wow, I have this skill set that people struggle with having good skin. People struggle with having confidence to go out and do something unique. And also her 3rd ingredient is she is very natural and organic focused. That's 4, right?
Yeah,
her
which
4th
is
ingredient.
Awesome. Yeah, quadruple threat.
Yeah, she's focused on organic and holistic solutions to healthy skin. And so that is a quadruple threat. Okay. Now I think of another person, more on the business side of things. So he has been a project manager for probably 25 years. He has a very, very good focus on audio and visual engineering. And he travels all over the world. He's a worldwide audiovisual integrator, but he has this fantasy that real estate is like the end all be all, and that's how he wants to make his millions. However, there's so much money to be made in consulting. If he could just be the go-to person to have better project management, like be the person who can coach the up-and-coming project managers in a ton of different worldwide companies. He could be the go-to consultant for that. And so it's this idea of we fantasize on what we think is the way to success, we think is the way to happiness, when we already have brilliance inside of us from the experiences that we can totally capitalize on.
Because something that's super common between those two people that are extremely different people is that they both often go to social media and show us people that they're looking at and say, look at how this person's just killing it in real estate.
They're doing so good and they're not even that smart. Like, they're not that good.
Right. Or they are either positive or negative. Right. I mean, there's some people that are just like, man, they're amazing. And I would love to be that, but I just probably couldn't. Or like, look at this. They're making so much money and they're not even that good. And so for both of them, there is so much potential.
Yes.
It truly is just like bubbling up with potential inside of them. And we're like, you could do this. And so that is more of the business side of it. Like, okay, those are the skills. But back to just like the individual.
Absolutely.
How does someone really sit down and reflect inward and like say, okay, there's a need out there and I could fill it. But how does that happen? Like, how does that connection of like, there's a hole, there's probably 1,000 people or more out there that are like, where have you been? Because you're the triple or quadruple threat that I've been looking for.
Yeah, you're the solution to that unique problem
but
that I have.
But how does somebody get there? How do they find those things, put them together, and then fill a hole in a way that, like, how do they do that as an individual before they even get to the business side of it?
Yeah, first of all, value what you know. I think that's step one. Like, understand that what you know and what you're doing is valuable. Even if you are, a teenager, even if you are I'm just in college, whatever it might be, you have value. And understand that we're in a marketplace today, like the world that it is today, is social media, with content, with it, you can have online courses, and you can invent a product in like 60 days if you wanted to. Okay. And so my point is, understand that you have value and start to write those things down.
Okay, but what things? Like what?
What are you good at? What do you like to do? What do you talk about ad nauseum to your family? What is always on your mind? What is the thing? What is your work? What is your day-to-day work that you do that you're actually really good at? You just have kind of small vision on how you can be rewarded for your skill set. I think that's a big part of it too, is a lot of people have these really, really strong skill sets, but they don't see them as independent skill sets worthy of a consulting fee, so to speak.
Okay.
And so I think that's step one, is realizing the skills you have and thinking about those skills outside of your standard environment, because your environment is probably the thing that's convincing you that you are not special.
Okay. So
does that make sense?
But what if somebody doesn't see something in their life? Like, what if there's something there that they don't really see, or they truly are like, well, that just could not like make money. So for example, you're training graphic design, 7 years of college, graphic design.
The way I make money, I just make graphic design, right? That's what I have to do.
Like, that's not like, you don't just get out of college and say, well, I'm just gonna be a graphic designer. Like, that's not what you did.
No, it's not what I did.
You have different skills that help you make a business today, and you fill a hole. You have a very, very specific niche.
Yep.
But those weren't things that you just, if I told you 10 years ago to sit down and write down, you'd be like, yeah, I have those skills.
Yes. So here's why I said I'm going to be a graphic designer, because that is the anticipated ending of college.
Right.
You have a degree and you go get a job in it. Okay. But somebody walked in my office, and here's the idea of keep your ears open to everything that's coming in front of you. Somebody walked into my office and they said, hey, have you ever thought about making money online? You ever thought about affiliate marketing? And it was just this extra moment of, hey, there's an opportunity. And so I started to pursue that idea. I didn't think about it being graphic design yet, but I just started going down that path. And as I went down that path, I learned, I discovered, and I started to explore this area. And then as I explored it, I realized, oh, hey, people buy computers. But nobody's telling them how to buy a computer for a graphic designer, for a creative professional. So I thought, hey, I know about computers. I'll start telling people what kind of computer they need for what I do. And so then what I did is I took my skill set, graphic design, I applied this knowledge I just learned about this affiliate marketing thing that I hadn't known about. And I love to be on camera. I love video. I love photography. Okay, great. Triple threat. Those three things have become my business. And so I think it's just this idea of exploring. It's this curiosity of trying to bring things together. If you have one skill, you have to be just the top tier person of that to, make it in the industry. But if you have two, you can be pretty good at both of those skills. If you have three, you can be, good at each of those skills. And if you have four, you can actually be kind of average at each of those skills. But you become the superhero for a specific group of people because you're the one person with that combination. So whether you're going to use that as a business, you're going to use it as a mom, you're going to use it as a volunteer in your community, looking at what you offer and bringing them together makes you the MVP of what you are doing for a group of people. And that is why being a unique snowflake is so incredible.
So all these business owners, so they talk about niching down. You've got to niche down, answer the why for somebody. And it's super overwhelming. We've both gone through a few courses where they say like, find your niche and then niche way down to where you're so specific. And it's just this kind of like idea of like, find what you want to do. If you want to be a health coach, then say, okay, I want to be a health coach because I'm a pretty healthy person. I want to help other people be healthy. But then find the specific person you're talking to, be a specific health coach. So don't just say a health coach, but like maybe you help someone lose weight after they've given birth. First time moms, you've given birth, you want to be specific, 20 pounds in 6 weeks. And you also want to exercise while you're doing it. So like be super niche.
Super specific. Yeah.
And so that's the person you're talking to.
Yes.
And these courses is just kind of like, okay, go find cherry pick whichever one you want to do. And it can be super overwhelming. And so kind of what we're saying is instead of having that mindset of like looking outward and trying to find a hole, look at yourself as an individual. Before you start looking at everybody else, look at yourself. What are you good at?
Yeah.
And then once you have put those together, then maybe go try to find your people that are looking for that. And maybe you have to kind of learn something new to get better at maybe one of those 3 or 4 things that you're not as good as you would like to be. Maybe you don't feel like you can talk to other people about it. But again, like you just have to be a little bit better than someone to help them, down the road is what we've kind of learned. And so, this is very like business mindset. We're talking a lot about starting a business. And I think that's because people do really want to start businesses. And we're not just talking about online. Obviously, we have friends that own their own businesses in the community, brick and mortar, people that own shops on Etsy. Then there's also people that teach on YouTube or courses, etc. And then I also have friends that just want to be better. We say they want to be better moms. They want to be better at relationships. They want to offer something to their family. And that's super important too.
Yeah, well, I think a lot about like some parents over the past couple of years have really been serious about the idea of homeschooling. And I think a lot of parents and moms are afraid that they're not going to be good enough to homeschool. Their kids are going to get the short end of the stick because they are not smart enough. They are not equipped enough. And that's where you have to take the skills that you do have. Okay, I know how to engage my children and I taught them how to ride a bike, whatever. Maybe I need to go and learn how to teach better. And that's where you go, like you were saying, and you build your skills. So you might not have all the skills you need. I didn't have all the skills I needed when I started my business. So I had to learn more about even the thing I was teaching about. And I think that's the natural evolution of growing yourself, is being willing to look at the skills you have and then build upon them.
Right.
You might not just succeed out the gate.
Yeah. And I do want to talk more about the homeschooling thing because I do think there are so many moms that have said to me, because we are going to homeschool, and they've said to me, I think I would like to do that. It's too overwhelming, or I don't think I could really offer my children what they need. They need it in the school setting. And that's where I do want to be encouraging to them that there are skills that they have as moms that I don't have. And that's where co-ops come in. That's where bringing other moms into the picture. That's where bringing maybe a tutor in, or just as a mom, researching and learning more about a topic that you want to be better at. And so it is totally possible in every field of our life, whether it's marriage or motherhood, or if it's finances, business, etc. We as individuals have things to offer. We just have to be better at sitting down with a piece of paper, if that's what you need, and writing out what you already know and what you have been gifted with through your life. We are so incredibly blessed to be in America. That alone is like, in a sense, a skill. Like we have this on our plate. We are in America and we can do it if we want to.
We can do almost anything, learn almost anything. You can be almost anything.
Yeah. And so just really bringing things together is so encouraging for people. And somebody, really spoke that into us, that you can do this. You just have to bring together what you're good at and offer it to somebody.
So organize what you're good at, look at what you need to add to it, and go at it with confidence and vigor and excitement. If you got any feedback, comments, questions, please comment below. We want to know who's joining this great conversation with us. We see a lot of people viewing it, and we just want to have conversation with you. See you all in the next one.
Bye now.